You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line!
Wimbledon, where tradition meets mayhem. Forget quiet rallies, this is where legends snap, crowds erupt, and rackets fly. From meltdowns that scorched center court to underdogs wrecking legends, these aren't just tennis matches. They're war zones in white. This is tennis's poshest stage, wrecked by its most unhinged moments. Brace yourself, Wimbledon just got wild. You've seen ball tosses, but this was a ball command performance. A player didn't just serve, he staged it like he was juggling destiny. He stood at the baseline like a magician mid-act, 4 balls in hand, calm as ever. With a subtle flair, he showed them off, scanning like a strategist. Then boom, one perfect serve. No panic, no pause. He reached into his hand like pulling ammo from a holster and fired again. It wasn't just tennis, it was choreography. The crowd didn't know whether to clap or just watch. Cool, calculated, and completely in control. This wasn't serving. This was showtime. He wasn't just playing the game, he literally owned the stage. Just when you thought you'd seen it all, the grass turned into a war zone. Because the next moment, pure fury served straight at the umpire. When power meets poor footwork, chaos is inevitable. But no one expected the rally to end in someone's lap. One vicious shot came screaming across the court so fast it was survival over strategy. The opponent sprinted, slipped, and next thing you know, she was no longer on the court. Her momentum carried her clean off the grass, skidding straight into the front row. In a blink, she was seated, accidentally in. She'd slid straight into the stands and landed squarely in a spectator's lap. The audience froze, jaws dropped. Was it a fall, a dive, a stunt? Whatever it was, it turned a tense rally into an accidental meet and greet. Wimbledon had just become personal and a bit too interactive. And just when you think you've seen it all, it throws another curve. When two giants collide, every point feels like a war. And in 2015, Djokovic versus Federer gave us a tiebreak that felt like it might never end. Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer, 2 names that define greatness. In the 2015 Wimbledon final, they clashed in a tiebreak that felt less like tennis and more like a psychological siege. Each serve came with sniper precision. Federer unleashed a blistering backhand down the line, clean, sharp, destined to end the rally. But Novak didn't just return it, he chased it, stretched for it, and stole the point. The crowd erupted, then silence. Every shot after that was met with collective gasps. Bodies were tired, but minds were locked in. It wasn't about technique anymore. It was survival, heart, and legacy. You weren't just watching tennis. You were watching 2 men rewrite what pressure looked like under a roof of legends. This was the kind of point that Wimbledon lives to witness. Moments like this, they don't just happen. They're carved into history.
Marcel would be proud.
Sometimes Wimbledon throws out the rule book and hands the mic to comedy, because this next moment, it was tennis turned theater, and the crowd lost it. Out of nowhere, the match dissolved into mockery, in the best way. All 4 players dropped into full-on parody mode, mimicking every tennis cliché in the book. Swings were wild, footwork was dramatic, and their expressions, pure Oscar material. One served with the seriousness of a samurai, another returned it like he was dodging bullets. They acted out each move with theatrical precision, grunts, gasps, fake exhaustion, all while the crowd howled in disbelief. It wasn't just funny, it was flawless. Even the line judges couldn't keep a straight face. This wasn't a rally, it was performance art. In a tournament built on tradition, this was a glorious detour, where 4 pros turned center court into center stage. No score, no stakes. Just pure, unscripted joy. Wimbledon stood still, not for a rally, but for a show. And everyone, from the front row to the commentary box, was loving every second of it. This one brought the house down with laughter, but the next?
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line!
It brought tension you could cut with a racket. Wimbledon is known for its poise and protocol, but in 1981, one man turned center court into a battleground and rewrote the rules of tennis temper. June 22, 1981. John McEnroe was mid-match when a call didn't go his way, and what followed became a tennis legend. He spun around, eyes blazing, and yelled the words that would echo for decades. "You cannot be serious!" The crowd gasped, the umpire froze, and the moment burned itself into sports history. But McEnroe didn't crumble. He channeled that fury into firepower, storming through the match. Every serve had venom. Every return was a statement. The outburst didn't rattle him. It fueled him. Later, he would defeat his arch-rival Bjorn Borg in the final, claiming the 1981 Wimbledon title. That meltdown? It wasn't just rage. It was raw emotion at its peak. A tennis icon letting the world know he wouldn't go quietly. On a court built for decorum, McEnroe brought defiance and somehow greatness. This looked like the peak of chaos, until the next one rewrote the script all over again. Wimbledon 2025 didn't just give us a match, it gave us a statement. When Alcaraz met Sinner, it felt less like a final and more like the future exploding on grass. Carlos Alcaraz versus Jannik Sinner, two prodigies, one court, and zero hesitation. The 2025 Wimbledon final wasn't just back-and-forth tennis, it was a test of evolution. Alcaraz, with his explosive speed and shot-making wizardry, clashed head-first with Sinner's surgical precision and icy composure. The rallies were brutal, stretching into the double digits as both refused to blink. One moment, Sinner unleashed a forehand rocket down the line. Next, Alcaraz chased the impossible and returned it with spin that defied physics. And then, toward the end, came the shot. Sinner ripped a backhand down the line, threading it through the smallest window imaginable. Alcaraz froze. The crowd erupted. Game, set, match. Jannik Sinner didn't just win Wimbledon, he seized it with a shot that'll live in slow-motion replays for years. The baton had been passed, and it was done in style. The crowd was breathless. This wasn't tradition, it was transition. A new chapter in Wimbledon's legacy being written with every point. This one was modern, electric, and unforgettable. But the next? It was pure Wimbledon madness in its rawest form. Some matches are about points and precision. This one? It was pure comedy disguised as competition. From the very first swing, it was clear. This was less match, more madness. The players weren't just competing, they were clowning.
Come on.
And the crowd was loving it. Each shot came with a wink, each rally built like a skit. It wasn't about points, it was about performance. At one point, one of them casually hung his racket's handle inside his pocket, letting it dangle like a mic drop, then tilted his head back and screamed dramatically into the sky, part victory cry, part stand-up act. The crowd was howling. It wasn't about aces or volleys, it was about delivering punchlines with a racket in hand. Even the umpire looked stunned by the brilliance of the chaos. This was Wimbledon, unplugged, unhinged, and completely unforgettable. This was ridiculous in the best way, but what followed? That was ruthless. Wimbledon's known for rain delays, but this next moment, the storm came from inside the court. Everything was calm until it wasn't. A sudden splutter, a hiss, and then, boom! Water exploded across the court like a busted fire hydrant. One of the sprinklers, or whatever that was, had gone rogue, soaking the turf, the players, and anyone too slow to escape. Staff sprinted in with towels, squeegees, even jackets, anything to stop the mini flood. Players slipped, laughed, and dodged like it was an obstacle course. The umpire looked confused. The crowd was howling. It wasn't just water, it was chaos in liquid form. For a few hilarious minutes, tennis was paused for a full-blown splash zone. It was unexpected, ridiculous, and unforgettable, the kind of mayhem you don't plan for but never forget. This one was soaked in laughs, but what happened next at Wimbledon? No one saw that coming. Wimbledon's known for discipline and decorum, but sometimes the most unforgettable moments come unscripted. During the Gentlemen's Invitational Doubles at Wimbledon 2025, a ball girl suddenly stole the spotlight. What started as a light moment turned into full-blown comedy as the crowd erupted with laughter and applause. The pros didn't miss a beat. They welcomed her with volleys, grins, and playful banter. She held her own, landing shots with surprising confidence and drawing cheers like a rising star. Even the umpire let the moment ride. In a tournament built on formality, this unscripted cameo was Wimbledon at its most human. No schedule, no script, just joy, spontaneity, and a reminder that sometimes the best rallies are the ones no one saw coming. For a brief, brilliant moment, the quiet tradition of Wimbledon turned into a feel-good spectacle, and there you have it, the most unhinged, unforgettable moments ever witnessed on tennis's most prestigious stage. From water explosions to mid-match comedy skits, impossible comebacks to full-on meltdowns, Wimbledon proved it's not just about grace and glory, it's about grit, chaos, and moments you'll never forget. So next time someone says tennis is too posh, show them this. What was your favorite crazy moment? Drop it in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more mayhem from the world of sports. Until next time, game, set, madness. Thanks for watching.